Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how much I ultimately ended up paying for this 2018 Yamaha R1. Now this bike stickers at $16,699, which is kind of middle of the road in terms of Japanese bikes. There's a couple that are cheaper, a couple that are more expensive. Then you've obviously got your BMW S1000s, V4s that are going to be, exponentially more expensive even for the base model. So that's before tax, $16,699. With tax, depending on where you are state-wise, because they're going to fluctuate in sales tax, you can easily get into the upper $19,000 out the door price range, which is astronomical, right? Like bikes 5 or 10 years ago, they used to be maybe at least 1,000 cc's. We're within, the $12,000 to $13,000 price range for something like this. Obviously inflation comes into the picture, but really the amount of features that the 1,000 cc's at least, have kind of added nowadays have really jacked the price up like exponentially. So that's kind of why the prices have got so expensive. And at the end of the day, this is an asset, and it's a depreciating asset. It's not a limited edition run. Even the R1M, they make a bunch of them. So you have to look at this as kind of as a asset and a liability almost, because it's not helping you out at the end of the day in terms of appreciating money, appreciating in value. So I live in Austin. I've gone over this before. The dealerships in Austin are not that good, guys. I wish they were, but I won't name the dealerships in question, but I went to 2 different dealerships here, at least for the Japanese bikes, and they weren't willing to budge at all on price. Like, we're talking end of summer, beginning of wintertime almost, and nothing. Like they weren't willing to budge. They were like, nope, we're just gonna sit on it, which is kind of frustrating. But if that's their thing. At the end of the day, they're in it to make money. They have overhead. I get it. But that being said, there are dealerships out there that will sell you something at not sticker price, that will budge, that will work with you. And those are the dealerships that you want to work with, because ultimately, like I said, it's a depreciating asset. You never want to have negative equity if you can help it. So always, if you are able to, do like I did, drive, fly. If you can find a cheaper price, I'm a big believer in utilizing your online tools, search engines like Cycle Trader for cars, Auto Trader for cars, Cycle Trader for bikes. You're always gonna come on top with those kinds of things, because ultimately the more you know, the more you come prepared, the better deal you're gonna get. So yeah, so what did I pay for my bike? So I paid, keep in mind, $16,699 is what the sticker price is. I ended up paying, which I'll put up here right now, $14,407. That's $2,200 for all intents and purposes off the sticker price, which is a huge chunk. You're taking almost all the depreciation. Now with most banks, they require a down payment of some sort. The bank I use is awesome. They gave me an amazing rate. I pay 5%, which is the lowest APR rate they offer on bikes that I could find for the most part. I'm a big believer. I'll go in another video of all of the things that you can do to come prepared, to get the best rate, to get the best out the door price. Because there are a number of factors, there are a ton of factors that go into buying anything, like car, bike, whatever it is. There is a million factors that go into it. So the more that you come prepared, the better. So I ended up paying out the door, keep in mind, I got a quote here in Austin at sticker plus tax, tag, and title of $19,000. $19,000. I ended up paying out the door $15,500. So I ended up paying $1,000 with out the door price with tax, tag, and title and everything, $1,000 less than what you would have paid sticker before tax here. So there are deals to be had, guys, and the key is, honestly, like I said, I'll go in another video, but if you can, always buy the last year model that's new. The more the bike's sitting on the floor, the worse it is for them. They have to pay on it per month. Like I said, we'll address it in another video, but always do that if possible, especially if they don't change it. Like, they made a few changes on this bike in 2018, but 2019 it's unchanged, so you're not losing anything. Ultimately, I ended up going to Freedom Power Sports in Hurst, Texas. They were the closest that had the best deal. They were super amenable, super nice people. I dealt with Shane there. He was a super nice guy, super down to earth. Can't say enough good things about that dealership. Drove a rental car up there for next to nothing. Drove up there, dropped it off. They came and picked me up, and I already had the financing done, which is another key component if you can help it. Always come in with the money already in hand, pretty much. That way you have more negotiating power. In and out, I think drove up there probably around 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. I was out of there by 12:30, 1 o'clock, and that was only because I had to drop the car off, the rental car. And I was, home by 4 or 5 o'clock. It was about a 2.5 hour drive, so almost a full day, but well worth it. So, yeah, if you can help it, I always recommend driving, flying, whatever you got to do it, because you're going to come out on top. You're going to feel way better about yourself ultimately. The big key is you're always going to feel way better. Yeah, so the key components that I can tell you that went into me getting this bike is came prepared. You got to understand the market that you're in. You have to understand the kind of bike that you're buying and what kind of goes in with that. How many bikes are available? So if there's a small quantity of bikes, especially at the dealership, they're not willing to budge as much because they kind of know what they have, they know what's out there, and they know that you probably have to come to them. You have to leverage your financing, right? So leverage what you have, come in with cash in hand, come in with the financing already in order. Say, hey, I have this much to spend, I'm willing to spend X amount, and kind of stick to that ultimately. If you have a top figure, don't give them that top figure, but say, hey, this is what I want to spend on it. Do you want to sell it at this price? And if they don't, they don't. You can go somewhere else and probably find a better deal like I did. Another thing is going to be, like I said, utilize your online tools. I used a number of things, but Cycle Shredder is the big one that gives you kind of a real world and at this time kind of thing, what their bikes are going for. You got to understand the best times to buy the bike, because ultimately if you buy it in the summer when everyone's buying, it's hot out, depending on your climate, here in Texas, like, it's hot a lot of the time, but in the winter no one's buying bikes. And it's probably the same where you live, unless you live in like maybe Florida or Southern California, where it's hot 10 or 11 months out of the year. So and the last thing is going to be, you have to be able to negotiate. So if you don't have any negotiation skills at all, it's going to be tough. That doesn't mean you can't get a good deal, but you have to be able to negotiate. You have to be able to seem like you're not too serious, too interested about it, that you're not set in stone on the bike, because otherwise they will see that and they will just sit on the price that they're willing to offer you, because they know and can read that you are dead set on buying this bike right now. So never seem like you have to have it is a big key. So yeah, ultimately I got a steal of a deal on this bike. I'm super happy with it. I'm not underwater on it. I'm not going to be underwater on it because I got a good rate. Yeah guys, ultimately I'm super happy with this bike, super happy with the buying experience. You never want to go to a dealership and have a bad buying experience. It just puts a sour taste in your mouth. I'm a big believer in doing repeat business with people who are trustworthy and are willing to work with you. Dealerships have overhead, they have things they need to pay for, and I understand that. And as long as you know that going into it, everything will be working in your favor ultimately at the end of the day. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.